So I'm making this video because I'm wondering and stressing how this timecode thing is really going to be sustained. Is Rode hiding something? I don't want you to be misled into buying into a system that is highly inaccurate, and the way that they're telling you to do this is correct when in fact it's wrong. What I'm going to do today is exactly what Rode said that you should do when you buy the Rode Wireless Pro. Now I'm going to be using a phone that has a timecode generator app called LTC Generator to generate the timecode. How this works is by connecting to a 3.5mm jack from the phone to the mic input port on your camera. If your camera does not accept timecode, this wouldn't work, like the Panasonic GH5 I'm currently filming this on and my Canon 70D right here. So check that your camera can. The Rode Wireless Pro, as we know, supports timecode, and what they've told us is to jam multiple cameras and go about syncing your devices after you shoot. This is where you use the Rode Wireless Pro receiver as a master clock to sync the internal timecode generator on each camera. Once set, the Wireless Pro can be disconnected from the camera, and all you have to do is plug in the device, unplug it, and it will maintain the same timecode since you jammed it the one time. The issue with that is that the internal clocks on every one of these cameras are all inaccurate. It's found that the code generators like the Tentacle Sync E have a drift period of less than 1 frame over a period of 24 hours. Rode does not even tell us what the drift time is on the new Wireless Pro. Now I'm going to prove it to you and show you that you cannot just plug in the device and unplug it. I'm going to open the app on my Android phone and connect it to my cameras and jam sync both cameras the exact same way that Rode has told us to do it, and then I'll leave this sitting on standby for about 10 minutes to show you how much it drifts over the course of just 10 minutes. Another thing to notice is that I have both cameras and the app on the phone set to 25 frames per second. This is so that all the frame rates match and everything can be jammed easily. So now I have both the 6K Pro and the 4K and the app open. Cameras are turned on. Both the 4K and 6K are the timecode 000. So I'm going to now plug in the 3.5mm jack running from the Android phone with the app open. As you can see here, it's at 7 hours, 13 minutes and 34 seconds and SX number of frames. It's set at 25 frames per second. Let me plug in the 4K camera and start the timecode jamming. So I've plugged that in. I'll hit run. So as you can see, the time on the app and the Blackmagic 4K is the same. I'm going to disconnect it from the 4K and jam the 6K Pro now. As you can see now, the 6K Pro and the 4K should be in sync with what the app is saying. I'll do that again just to make sure everything has the same timing. Now that we've jammed both the 4K and 6K Pro at the same time as the app, and we'll let this sit for maybe say 10 minutes and we'll come back to check what has happened. So it's roughly over 10 minutes since I left this just running. The app shows 7 hours, 27 minutes and 23 seconds, 24, 25. On the 4K, it's 7 hours, 27 minutes, 31, 32. While the 6K Pro shows 7 minutes, 27, 39. I'm going to pause it in post so you can see exactly what it is. So I've just noticed that the 6K Pro appears to be 5 frames out of sync, while the 4K is 4 frames out of sync from the app. So this is out of sync by just 1 frame between the 4K and the 6K Pro. So imagine if the phone was the Rode Wireless Pro, it would be out of sync by 4 to 5 frames, and this can happen over hours if I was recording for a longer period of time. So the issue is that in post-production, you're going to be syncing your cameras, since you would most likely be cutting from one camera to maybe B, C, or D cameras. You're going to have to manually line up these clips because it's going to either be 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 frames off, and it grows over time. That's the biggest thing about drift. It doesn't just drift and stay at the same time gap the whole entire duration. That drift grows over time, literally every hour, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes. That drift will continue to grow so that you can go from 4 frames off in the beginning of the recording to by the time you get to the end of your recording, maybe a whole full 24 or 30 frames off, depending on how long you're recording. With the advertising statement from Rode and with Timecode, no matter what the device you use, even a deity timecode generator cannot be used as stated, where you just plug into the cameras and plug them as cameras do not have accurate timecode clocks. The ideal scenario would be that you leave this plugged in so that it never drifts. The camera's clock is not in control of the time code. The accurate timecode generator is what I believe that Rode has done with the Wireless Pro. It's a great idea and it's perfect for if you have the system to sync off-camera recordings with. The 32-bit fluid recordings that you put on your talent, that is probably the only benefit to what they're calling timecode. But using it to multicam setups, things like that, I don't believe that it's an accurate timecode clock. In fact, I think it's very similar to the same types of timecode systems that are in cameras where it's just a clock. But it's not an accurate timecode system. I'm curious to get my hands on it though and actually fully test this out. But as for right now, I only recommend you buying the Rode Wireless Pro for its wireless 32-bit float recording capability, but not for the timecode functionality. Or if it's too expensive, I recommend the Lark Max from Holy Land. See you next time. Bye bye.